My friend, if you were out and you saw all of these people walking around, going about their business in life, and what if you could take a peek inside of their lives, inside of what they feel, what's really going on for them? Like, what do you think you would find? Just like in general. Like, would you find that most people are happy? Would you find that most people are upset? I believe today, when I look at people, what I see the struggle that each person carries alone. Maybe it's the research that makes me feel this way, right? Because the research categorically tells us that 7 out of 10 people experience a major traumatic event at least once in their lives. So when I look around at people, what I see people carrying their pain inside of them. Because I know this human, like, this is a trauma survivor, like me. This is a person whose life has been turned upside down because they have a loved one who's been through it. We are surrounded by trauma survivors, by their loved ones, by people who care for them. That's our world. That's the reality. We carry these struggles. We carry this pain inside of us. And I used to think that, people was just like, everyone was just being happy and leading these amazing lives, and no one would understand where I'm coming from. I think the reality is most people can relate to it. Maybe not the exact experience that maybe you have been through or I've been through, but our journeys are that universal that at some point, going through a traumatic experience, many of us do feel the sense of feeling lost, feeling misunderstood, feeling shame, feeling pain, feeling alone. And that's a big one, right? That's a big one. Because I know what that's like, because for most of my life, and by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Joe Bakhmutsky. I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse. I've been through cancer. I've been through a whole host of unpleasant things. But here I am. I'm dealing with it as best as I can. And with some of it, I've only reconnected kind of recently. And I'm on my own healing journey, trying to heal from trauma. And so that's why I'm here on this show, sharing what my experience is like, in the hope that, it serves you and supports you in some way. And I know for so many years, I've been carrying this pain alone, or the impact of it. The mental health struggles, the panic attacks, the depression, the just feeling like I'm just like in my mind, I'm going crazy, and that no one can see what's going on inside of me. Because I actually got pretty good at being around people and fitting in a way that nobody could really know what it's like on the inside. And by the way, what is that like for you? Do people know what you feel? What you think, like what you want in life? Because what often tends to happen, I feel, is just speaking to survivors, people who've been through stuff, it feels like so much of us are holding things within. We're holding back. And oftentimes people around us, they have no idea what's going on. You could be going through like just an awful, miserable time, and people have no clue what's like, they don't even know, Because like right now, I'm on a journey, for example, of sharing my story of going through rape as a child with my friends. Because nobody knew. Because I was, first of all, I was so just ashamed and scared to talk about it, and also in some weird way, I also thought I was over it. When let me tell you, I wasn't. you know, and it's weird, people would say, like, I had no idea that this is the type of stuff you were living with. So it's kind of a shock to people, because sometimes they might really know you or feel like they know you, but we don't let them in. We don't let people know what's really going on, like that pain, that struggle. We don't let it out, because I believe that none of us deserve to go through this and carry this pain alone. And the reason why I say none of us, because we're in this together, my friend. You and I, like, we are in this together. We're in this together. Because your story is unique to you. Your experience are unlike anybody else, and yet there's just so much that we share. There's so much that is universal. People want to see you. People want to feel you. And we should be going through this experience together. And knowing that even though that you are on your own path, your own journey, hopefully towards healing, and that might look totally different and that might change, but you're not alone. I want you to know we're here for you. We're here for you. We survivors. We people who care for survivors. We people who have loved ones and friends who suffered and suffered today. And none of us deserve to go through this alone. That's why, this is why I started this podcast. I believe that we all, my friend, deserve, 100% deserve to be happy. To seek just like greater clarity in everything that we do in our lives. To show up and give our best, because you got so much to give. Because when we do that, when we give the best of ourselves, like, that's when we get to sense the richness of life. That's when we get to feel, enough. Because I know that's because so for most of my life I have not felt enough. But only it is when we are giving the best of ourselves in the present moment, doing whatever it is that's right for you with your loved one, doing something you love, doing something you care about. That's when we get to connect with our true selves. And also holding on, my friend, to that hope. I can say this as the author of this book, Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty. A guide to thriving in the challenging world of today. That we gotta hold on to hope. Hope. Hope is that bridge towards the future. That bridge to the possibility that even though things might be awful right now, but things can and do change for the better. Please believe that, my friend. Because we're here for you. And sometimes that comes with taking that pain that's inside of you and finding more ways to get it out. Get it out of yourself. And share it with others. Or to bring it out in the open. Because when you bring it out in the open, it loses its grip on you. When you bring your pain, your struggle out into the open, it loses its grip on you. Listen, let me ask you this. When you have a pain, let's say you have a toothache, I mean, and it's like it's physical, right? Like you know it's that like you're like it's the truth. You can't think, you can concentrate, you can't eat properly. Like it's driving you insane. Like what do you do? But probably you gotta try to go and see the dentist, right? Like we don't really think about it. It's a simple decision. We know there's toothache, go see the dentist. It's as simple as that. And yet when it comes to the deep, like this choking feeling inside of us, and this just horrible uncertainty, these waves of fear, this feeling of losing control, these thoughts just running around like crazy. What do we do then? When that happens, oftentimes, if you're anything like me, I'm really good because I've been an expert at this, is we try not to show it. We try to go on and just hope that, in fact, just hide it so that hope that other people don't notice it. So that they don't get to find out that you're crazy, that you're weird, that something is wrong with you. And sometimes we do that because sometimes we don't even have that connection to our own story. Or because even getting to that connection and finding that clarity about how it all fits in, that's hard. But that's why we gotta seek clarity. What do things mean? How do things connect? What like maybe this experience that you went through, maybe it's affecting how you are in relationships, how you are in your work, how you feel on the inside. I know it sounds easy, but maybe if you're like me, sometimes those things are really tough to kind of even put together, to have that clarity. But when we have that clarity, or we have greater clarity, I should say, because I think it's an ongoing process, when we have a greater understanding of our own internal landscape, that's when we are able to make better decisions. That's when we're able to go out and seek what it is that's right for you. And that comes from sharing your pain with other people. Whether it's online, whether that's with your friends, whether it's speaking it out, whether that's with a counselor, whether that's with your psychologist, or finding someone. If you don't have anyone in your life, finding someone who can, these things are vital. But the core theme that I want to share with you today, that I believe is so vital, and I'm personally learning this the hard way, that the more we try to kind of hide the pain, the more we try to keep it inside, the more we try to keep it from other people, it does not go away. It comes back, sometimes even stronger. And that's why it's so vital. That's why it's so just necessary that we own the pain. That we own our pain. We don't give it away, we own it. And you deserve to do this for yourself. Because when you can own the pain, when you can bring it out into the open, it loses its grip on you. And when I say own the pain, I really mean three things. To me, own means all. In own means we open the pain. It's like this chest with treasures. And sometimes they are treasures. Because the more we take them out, the more we're able to give them away, the more we're able to swap them for something that's actually meaningful for you, the better life we're going to have. So we got to open the pain. We got to bring it out into the open. We got to share it with other people. And sometimes it starts, if we have never had that experience of talking about your pain with someone that is really close to you in your life, well, sometimes maybe it's helpful to go and take steps that will help you to bring it into a place where you can find words, when you can feel more confident about it yourself, when you can just let it out. And I think for that, to open up the pain. I think what's really powerful is journaling about it. Like taking a diary and writing about it. Say, how do I feel? Why do I feel this way? Looking at the past, looking at how things might show up for you. I think journaling about it, if you ever do this, I think it's an incredible practice that can really, when you do this without thinking, when you just do and write about your experience in life, kind of like a diary, that can really open you up to the experience because you start to see things in a different way. I always do this out loud. But my process, this works for me, this is what I recommend to all of my coaching clients, everyone I speak with, is speaking things out loud. I'm a huge fan of asking questions about my own experience and just talking through things out loud to myself. And well, I could be taking a shower, I could be driving home from work, I could be on a walk, and I just, I would say, why did I feel this way? Like, what's made me upset? Like, what's going on? And I would just talk through things. And what's fascinating is that you get all sorts of things come up that you didn't know were there before, right? Those things just happen and you find these incredible connections sometimes, and things kind of start to come together. And the more you can start to understand your own emotions, the more you can understand your own feelings, the more you can translate them into words, the easier it is sometimes to share it with other people. Maybe you can do it in a creative way. For me, it was like, I was writing a play. That's one of the other things that really helped me to bring stuff out and put words to it, because it was kind of in a kind of roundabout in a creative way. So maybe you have a way that you can do this, like whether that's through drawing, whether that's through writing, whether that's whatever that is for you, that will help you reconnect with something that's true to you. And when you can start to have the greatest sense of where it comes from, of what you're experiencing, what you're sensing, it is a lot easier to take that first courageous step and share it with someone. I truly believe that the best way to share your experience, or just in some way, even if it's just like, not having the right words, is with someone who's been through it. Someone who's not necessarily the exact experience that you might have had, but someone who has suffered, someone who has been through a traumatic events that they can relate to you experiencing what you're experiencing in your life right now. Because that's a point of connection. That's when people are so much more likely to just make you feel heard, make you feel understood. And that brings me to the second point. When we find a way to open the pain, it's so vital. The W in own is O is to open the pain, bring it out into the open. Then the W is to be able to work with the pain. Whatever that's built up inside of you. Maybe you can start to put words into it, or at least connect it with emotions, or whatever the experience is like for you. We want to be able to bring it out and do something about it. When I say work with it, I mean bring it to people who get it. Bring it to people who can help you. And that's one of the ways that I like to think about it, is like, who's gonna be there by your side helping you work through it? Is it a therapist? Is it a psychologist? Is it a counselor? Is it someone who's been through a similar challenge? Is it your friend? Is it all of them? I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, it's been a journey that started with a conversation with a survivor. Someone who was a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and sharing my story. After hearing their story, it was just transformational because it changed my identity, how I see myself, how I see my own experience. And over time, it helped me to go and take that next step to actually get therapy, which I love now. But I couldn't even, even a year ago, I couldn't even imagine, I couldn't even consider it. That's how changing it has been for me. So I want you to consider right now, who's gonna be there for you by your side, helping you seek that clarity, helping you know your truth. Who's gonna be there in your life that's gonna support you on that journey? Because listen, I gotta tell you, we cannot wait to heal. We cannot wait. Because, listen, haven't we all waited too long? Haven't we waited long enough to start healing? The time to act, the time to take charge, the time to move towards healing, take that next step towards healing is right now. I'm here to ask you right now to commit to your step, whatever that next step is for you. But what does it mean for you to work with the pain and take that next step? So the next step towards letting it out into a place where it's no longer running your life. I'm not saying that you'll never ever think about it again. I'm not saying you're ever going to be perfect. But you don't need to be perfect. And you're not going to be perfect. You're going to be you. That's why I love this idea of this journey towards healing. Because the journey, it never ends. Right? But in a good way. Right? It means that you can work through things, you can take time, you can sometimes it's like one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. You know? But I think it's so vital to work with the pain and take steps towards letting it out in a way that helps you lead a happier, more fulfilled life in a way that makes sense for you, my friend. And own the pain. If O is to open the pain, W is want to work with it in a way that helps us let it out and helps us heal, well, then is to notice the changes. As you're working through it, as you might be trying to make sense of what's going on, is be able to notice, how do you feel? Sometimes it brings up difficult things. Sometimes it brings up other experiences. But oftentimes it can help us to feel more authentic, more true to ourselves. Because that's what we want. We want to feel the truth. We want to feel that weight lifted off of your shoulders. I want you to feel more whole. That was a changing day in my life. When I felt like I could literally point the way I'm doing it now, I felt a part of me come back to life. A part that was buried like deep within me. I felt that part come back to life and be a part of me. I could physically point it to somewhere within my abdominal. That's what I want for you, my friend. To feel more whole, to feel those parts of you that might feel like they've been like just buried somewhere, they've been like forgotten about, because that's what we do sometimes when we've been through that experience, because it's hard, because it's tough. But sometimes it's there. It doesn't disappear. It's still somewhere. We want to be able to bring it out. And we want to notice the good things that come. Feeling more calm as we work through it, working through it with a psychologist, working through it with physical therapists, working through it with other survivors, being in a support group, working through it, dealing with all the side effects and the impact of it, whether it's addiction, whether it's mental health, whether bringing new people into your life, opening up to people who might already be part of your life. That's your healing journey. And you got to decide, my friend, what is going to be your next step towards healing. And to other people, it might be like just this, it might be like this one tiny step, but I want you to make it today. One tiny commitment is a massive, unbelievable step towards trusting yourself more. Trust that you can figure this out. Trust that you can get through this, my friend. Because you've done this before, you've been through tough things. And now it's time to bring it out, to own the pain in a way that helps you to bring it out into the open, in a way that helps you to work with it, in a way that helps you to take specific steps towards healing and finding someone who's going to be by your side, or multiple people who are going to be supporting you in different ways as you move towards healing for you, and notice the changes. There's that greater sense of calm, that greater sense of presence. Maybe you feel more present in your relationships, in what you do in your work. Because for me, it's been transformational. And I want you to feel this, to notice it. And it takes time, but I am a different person today than I was a year ago. Different person, different human being. Or maybe I'm the same person, but I have a totally different experience of life. I also have a much greater awareness, because I didn't before, because I was a lot of times just freaking out and in my own head. And now I have a much greater sense of wholeness and being who I am. Because you and me, we don't have to hide anymore. We're here. You are who you are, my friend. I'm proud of you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm here for you. Us, the survivors, we're here for you. I want you to thank you for being here. I want to acknowledge the journey you're on, the feelings and the experience, your past, where you are today, and where you might be going into the future. My name is Joe Bermutsky. I want to thank you for being here. And if you ever want to talk to someone, I'm here for you. My email is joe@powertobehappy. That's JOE@powertobehappy.com. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to say hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you for looking out for yourself. Talk soon.